my friend. Welcome to this video and to another episode of Soul Alchemy with Danielle Lynn. So I'm Danielle Lynn, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about how to tune in to your guiding principles so you can make choices with more clarity, so that you can really ground into the deliciousness of your life. We want to use that word. And to give you a sense of guidance on what matters most to you, not what people have told you matters, not what you think matters, not what you think should be, but a tool, a perspective, some guideposts that help you connect with clarity on what matters most to you and how you navigate life. Now, you'll notice that as I'm starting this video, as I'm starting this conversation, I'm talking a lot about getting clarity on your guideposts. And one of the reasons that's so important is when we're growing up, we're not taught a lot about how to discern for ourselves, how to really receive information, observe it with clarity, and then make decisions that are aligned with us. A lot of times we are taught to react. We are taught to follow a code that is set in stone through cultural or societal or familial beliefs. But at our core, we are beings, we are creatures that thrive when we are working in accordance with our natural rhythms. Or another way of saying that, life gets really wonderful when we live as our core self wants to live. Now, earlier this year, I was reflecting on my own path, things that I wanted to do, and I was finding myself kind of almost coming up against some undefined areas. One of my personal things in life is I love to be so open to possibilities that in the past I've really resisted putting down concrete ideas of what those possibilities might be. More and more in my life, I'm experimenting with being more concrete, because life, I find there is an intelligence to both letting go and playing light with life while simultaneously leaning into a direction all in. I know it sounds a bit like a paradox, but being overly wishy-washy usually lets you kind of float around. Being overly driven without tuning in to your wider perspectives sometimes gets you running in circles. But combining the two creates this effect where you're tuning into your bigger guidance, your bigger well-being, but you're also taking decisive and aligned steps, actions, ways of being, right? So the idea behind these principles, the idea behind writing out your principles, comes from a place of both exploring and questioning preconceived ideas or beliefs, while also giving yourself a clear voice, a clear platform, and reaffirming that you, and you alone, are the guiding creator in your reality. After all, if you're writing these principles down, and if these principles are the ones that resonate with you, then any decision you come across, even if it's challenging, if it doesn't resonate with your core principles, then you already know the answer. I've found that the more we live our lives with that sense of trust, in making the choices that are resonant with us over trying to make choices that we think are easy, usually line us up with more synchronicities. They line us up with really cool experiences. Now, I will say, principles, beliefs, anything else can be malleable, meaning, they can shift, they can change. So the idea of exploring these principles is one of starting where you're at, getting some clarity, and giving yourself permission to really like lay it out on paper, to give yourself a lot of permission to just kind of take a look and see what it is that maybe you haven't defined or has been unconscious, so that you can either go, oh yeah, that's great, I like that, or you can go, that's not really reflecting who I'm feeling that is most true to me. Maybe I can explore this and find options that are more resonant to me and live by those, and not need to continue to live by outdated models for myself, right? So does a lot of cool things all in one. So what I was going to do was I was going to show you, here's the principles that I've written out, and I'm going to share a few of them with you. Now, the idea here, remember, like for me, these are my principles. This is what's resonated really clearly with me. And part of the reason I'm so excited sharing with you is I had written these a few months back, really resonated with me, and I was really into them. And then I kind of let it sit in my book for a few months. And then recently, I kind of reflected on, I wonder where I'm resonating at, where I'm sitting with my principles, because I sort of extracted them. And so how much have I been leaning into this? And I found that there were some that I was more receptive to than others. So for this month, I'm really leaning in to all these principles here. I'm not just putting it as theory in the paper. I'm committing for this next month to live out these principles and embrace whatever unfolds from making choices from this place. And then if I want to make adjustments at the end of the month, I can, but I'm looking at this as a bit of an experiment. So this is also giving you a perspective on what you can do with your own principles once you've written them out. Okay, so now at this part, I'm going to share with you the actual principles. Feel free to take for yourself what's resonating with you as well, or adapt parts. It's all good. So the first one, nothing in life is worth losing your peace over. To me, that one's pretty self-explanatory. There's no situation, no circumstance, nothing in life that's worth losing your inner peace over. I really like this one because, it's one that really allows you to ultimately let go of every challenge in your life at the core level, to not let it rock you or shake you. And I think as I'm thinking about this, we'll probably go in more depth onto the individual parts, maybe in some different videos, because each one of these has some really cool perspectives that we can dive into. So let's just kind of do an overall read for now, and then we can dive into any of the individuals later. So nothing in your life is worth losing your peace over. Go all in and then be open to the result. See, I'm actually applying this one this month to this principles. Be impeccable with your word, both to yourself and to others. Allow yourself and others the dignity of your unique experience. Be discerning with where you place your energy. Engage in regular doses of humor. I like that one. Be clear on what matters most to you, moment to moment. Make space to breathe consciously. Also very important. Be flexible with your beliefs and firm with your inner grounding, your energetic integrity. Enjoy the humor bountifully. Life is funny, yo. I included it twice. That's how important humor is to me as a principle. Be present. It's worth it. Be kind to yourself. You are not meant to be perfect. And I love this because in the very next line, I write, embrace mistakes and change. So, and of course, I had a mistake there. So embrace mistakes, change, the unknown, embrace all of it. It's all part of the journey. Do what you feel most energized doing. Be the resonance you most want to see in the world. Thank yourself for all that you are. Remember, you are an inner to outer creator, and have fun. So those are some examples of my own principles. And so now what I'm committing to doing is over this next month, any opportunity or experience I have gets to be essentially run through these filters. So if I am, attempting to make a choice or see if something is this something I'd like to choose or not, I get to ask, does this resonate with my principles? And that'll give me a very clear answer. But this is more than just like a note checking, like, oh, does this line up? I advise, when you write your own principles, that you take some time to sit with each of them individually. You take some time to really dive in to the resonance behind each of your principles. Because each of your principles is that truly resonates with you, is helping you connect with and live your most resonant journey. And one of the most important ingredients for creating and living in this reality is to be, to feel, experience, and stand in that resonance first. So really the act of tuning into this is priming you for exactly what you want as well. Isn't that cool? So please let me know if you have any questions. If this inspired you, I hope you go ahead and write your own principles and whatever feels fun and good. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. You can find more resources at daniellelynn.com. And as always, I thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to the next time.